Welcome to SkilliZee's podcast, The Learning Curve. SkilliZee is an initiative created by Arna Singh, an educator with a deep-seated passion for enhancing skill development and fostering learning environments that thrive on creativity and progress. This podcast is focused around redefining holistic development in children that involves life skills that go beyond the pages of school textbooks and grades that have long remained and are currently the basis for major Indian education systems. In the upcoming episodes, we will be inviting guests from various industry backgrounds to talk about their take on education policies, how they developed life skills, things they wish had been taught to them in school, and much more. So if you're looking for a fresh perspective on what general education could look like in a world where younger minds are equipped to think on their toes and navigate daily life, you've come to the right place. I'm your host Soundarya Jayachandran, and along with our founder Arna Singh, we will be diving into these conversations with a special guest every episode. Our guest today is Swara Patel. She has a master's in business administration and is a dance educationist and dance therapist certified by CMTAI. She's worked as the head of the department for Orchids, the international school Pan-India 2017 to 2019, with about 35 schools under her purview. Swara co-founded Rhythmus HappyFeet Dance Academy, which specializes in teaching children dance with a unique approach of developmentally appropriate music and syllabus. Now, without further ado, welcome Swara. It's such a pleasure to have you on. How are you feeling today?
It's a wonderful day, and I'm so happy to speak about my favorite subjects.
We are right on the path of talking about creativity and how it plays a part in progress, and talking about that. It's not every day that we meet someone that picks like an offbeat career such as dance or in the arts, and then grows to make it part of the curriculum in today's education systems. So just to give the listeners an idea of where you come from and what your early influences were, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Just like a bathroom singer, as a child, I danced behind the locked doors. Yeah. But if you talk about early influencer, I was not a dancer while growing up. I was not really good at studies. So, in early years, earlier our parents' study came first. And if you really cannot cope with it, rest were kept aside. Yeah. So for me, dancing was left in the room always. Yeah. But somewhere I realized that it was my calling all my life. So after the birth of my second child, I started training in dance. So it's not a usual dance career. That's from a child she was dancing and learned and you evolve. It is little unusual, but this little unusual helped me to see dance differently. And that is the reason I built curriculum and I just did not remain a dancer. So they say that whatever happens for a great reason. And I think that's what happened in my life.
Yes, absolutely. Who were the people that you saw growing up dancing, or who would you watch dancing back in the day? Why did it happen right after the second child and not before that? I'm sure there would have been a spark of inspiration. So can you just take us through that?
So I would say that as a child, maybe, we say 30, 40 years back, 30 years back, the inspiration was only Bollywood. Yeah. We didn't have internet. Yeah. We didn't have a lot of exposure to different dance forms, nothing, right? So it was always Bollywood, Sri Devi and Madhuri Dixit. I grew up in a small town in Gujarat, which was again Navsari. So exposure and influence of was not a lot. Yes, it was Bollywood, the most popular everywhere. Um, what really sparked, I would say that, my journey. So I never learned dance, but I was someone always very passionate. So I went to Mitibai College and I tried to give audition. But, I didn't realize by the time people come in college, they're highly trained. To audition in a college like this, I stand no chance to get selected. Yeah. So I tried there. Then somehow Learning dance never happened again, as I was always struggling with studies. So never got an opportunity, or I was never a seeker that okay, let's do it. I have to do it. At that time, I was not a seeker. Okay, and then there came a point in life where MBA is again a place where people are not dancers. Yeah, Bitty they were dancers. MBA, the dance team will not have dancers. The crowd is less. So that is where I got a chance to dance. Yeah, and that's it started there. Yeah, because it was about just getting a chance. And then it just stayed with me so deeply. That experience stayed with me. Then immediately after my MBA, I got married. Immediately, like a typical. As I told you, I was not a seeker. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. My life was happening. There's a difference, right? Yeah. So life happened to me, and I got married. I got my first child, but that experience of MBA somewhere stayed with me, and I started learning dance a little bit anyhow. Then by then there were YouTubes, by then there was exposure, by then we had the resources to start off by yourself. So I started by myself through videos. And then we went to a very small town. So I got married in Bombay, but we went to a very small town where my husband's factory was there. I started learning dance there. Whoever was there started teaching me. So slowly, slowly, then it reached a point where I used to get goosebumps when I used to see somebody perform, or when I started getting goosebumps. I used to have tears in my eyes, and the calling expanded in me through those little experience which came across. There is no looking back, and then you become a seeker, and then you make things happen. you know so that's what happened to me. I reached a point when I started making things happen. The life just didn't pass by.
Wonderful. I think it's really interesting when art finds its way into your life one way or the other. Really keeps this kind of balance. I think we all need art in our lives, to carry on in this world. It's a little tough to already like feel all the things that you're feeling, but to express it in a way that you feel most comfortable, the medium that you feel most comfortable in, and if you have a talent to do it really well that you can share with other people, that just takes it to a whole new level. Now, it's a well known fact that movement combinations increase memory, it increases order, sequencing skills, it gives us an insight into all of that. Now, could you delve into the approach that you use at Rhythmus HappyFeet? What can a child really expect if they enroll into this academy?
Yeah. So our early years curriculum is very unique. So why it is unique? Because I said I saw dance differently. I saw dance as a mother and a dancer together. I realized that dance, as I read more about it, I researched. I realized movement and dance are like two sides of a coin. Yeah. When you study science, when you study science and development, you realize movement is so essential for children when they grow up. And what better way to move than to dance and be happy while moving, right? So then I found a very clear intersect, which I felt needs to be taken to the larger audience and brought awareness about that dancing is far more than, yeah, of course, joy is a big part of it, which then just learning dance. The byproduct of learning dance is, as you said, memory building, better attention, better retention, overall better growth, overall development, holistic development. Now, the way you can get this or achieve this is only if you're able to make your curriculum age appropriate. Yeah, if you're delivering dance like you're delivering a general class for adults, if the curriculum is not there, if it's not made for graded, is what we say, right? In education, is graded is the word. We grade one, graded curriculum, it will not have that effect. Yeah, because anything not age appropriate, or the group appropriate, or the audience appropriate will not work, right? So making it age appropriate for every level brought everything, all the good byproducts which dance can bring on the plate for my children. And that's how, so we have songs. How do we do it, right? We have songs which are lyrics, we are age appropriate. We have songs which are lyrics where they learn concepts like a story of a tree growing, or about, say, a car and ways to transportation. Yeah. We have songs about a lot of words which are introduced to children, and they are not very used to English language because at home it's a mother language. Mother tongue is what they are doing. So through that you include vocabulary, because these are not just song lyrics which they can't understand or make any sense of. The lyrics they can make sense of. They sing along, so they learn a lot. Yeah. So choosing the right music, having an age appropriate curriculum which is tailor made and graded. Most important, teaching skills, having a very strong teacher training backed by both is what brings what you said to the plate, or brings it into the curriculum. That's how. Yeah.
You mentioned teacher training, and teachers can truly be big influences in a child's life. Did you have any earlier influences or teaching or teachers in your life, or dance teachers that really made an impact on you? What part of their teaching made an impact on you? Were they doing something different?
Yeah. So the first was my mentor, where I learned dancing, where it was just dance as a skill, nothing beyond that, learning a dance form. Yeah. That was Sitana Kanwar, who made a huge difference, where she was very, so you know what? After two pregnancy, your body is changed. If you've never trained before, you will not be able to do a lot of things. Now, I went to an institute which was very professional. Yeah. And somehow, as you said, the dots just, it was like, the connecting dots, I got into there, I don't know how. Yeah. And so her encouraging, for her to encourage me, and I kept on dancing, was the first my mentor. Then I came across a lot of dance educators. There is Anne Green Gilbert. She is in Seattle. So, what happened was, when I started looking for a dance curriculum which was age appropriate, I started reading about it, and I realized in West there is a lot of work done on it. So I started reading a lot. I started joining course. I started ordering books. As you say, now sky's the limit. When you want to learn, you can learn almost everything. You start and you find a way. Yeah? Either you end up joining a course, like I end up joining dance therapy also later, or you end up ordering books. You end up watching videos. That's what happened to me. And I discovered an educator called Anne Green Gilbert, and she was doing an amazing work about, there's something called, she does brain dance, which helps children in wiring the brain the right way. Yeah, she teaches every subject through dance. She has audios and videos made of teaching subjects through dance. She's done so much work in this field. So she is my huge inspiration, where movement is used to teach everything and anything under the sun. And you'll be surprised to know that 80% of the learners in early years, okay, are kinesthetic learner. When I say kinesthetic, it means learning through movement. Yeah. And then you discover your style, visual or audio. Yeah. But in early years, while, that's why you see them moving, touching, exploring, they cannot sit in one place, because that's a preferred way of learning while growing up. And then you choose that it evolves. Yeah. So can you imagine, when you learn everything through movement and an active environment, how how much can the learning multiply, right? And not to forget my own kids. I When I started looking for a dance class for my children, now I'm a dancer, I am a mother, and I have read about movement and education. I have read about a lot of things. I really could not find something which fit right for them. Yeah, so that also led me to go deeper into it.
You mentioned dance therapy and you mentioned dance education. Can you just go into how dance therapy helps someone? Is there a bit of a brief on the theory of dance therapy and how it helps?
Yeah, uh, so I'll tell you something. I don't practice dance therapy, even though I am a dance therapist. Yeah, I'll dwell into it again after some time. But when you ask me about how does dance therapy help, I can obviously say that because I'm a dance therapist. So there are different part of the brain which you can only access through movement. When you move, it gets activated. Okay. Again, when you move, um, the right side of the body controls the left side of the brain. Left side of the body, we know that, right? Cross lateral. Yeah. So when you move, your complete brain gets activated and gets lit. Yeah, the neurons get lit. Even the corpus callosum in between gets lit. Yeah, so it's a whole. There's full attention, retention, active brain. Okay. So again, movement is from a part of the brain which is related to long-term memory, um, um, which activates the cerebellum. It activates that. Yeah. So if you go by science, um, um, you are able to access a part of the brain which otherwise you will not be able to access sitting and talking. So when you move, yeah, so when you move, you're able to process this better and express this better. So that's how it becomes a therapy. So now coming back to the reason I don't practice dance therapy is because dance therapy is one of the tool when you are treating a person who requires therapy. Yeah, when you work with somebody who really is looking for therapy, you need multiple tools to really be able to help. Yeah, or you have to work with the therapist side by side, and when the therapist who is really feels the need to bring in dance therapy calls you and you go and do it, deliver it. Just dance by therapy, and you bring somebody who really needs, and if you keep doing it for 1 month, 1 year, it might not add up to the result you want. It's one of the tool. Art therapy, many, right? I'm sure. So it works wonderful if it is used by a very what do you say, a therapist, a general therapist, not just a dance therapist, who understand this is a time to bring it in and brings it in, or a therapist who's also a dance therapist and use it together. Yeah, so that's how it works as a therapy. Now say explain this, you also know how it works as a therapy. Now when it comes to school, where is also kind of therapy, what I mean is, my favorite question to every place I go is, I ask is, when did human being start dancing? Yeah. If you really think about this, close your eyes, you will get that cave paintings. Yeah, those ancestors. So even before we started talking, we started dancing. Yeah, even before language was invented. Even before language was invented, we were drawing on the caves. Yeah, art. You're using art in your life, right? So that somewhere tells you something. And imagine after a long hunting day, tiring day, they're again dancing. They rather sit and chill, right? Why would they dance? Right? Yeah.
Right, for them, that was chilling.
Yeah, so that is a natural. That means, what does it mean? It's natural for us to dance. Yeah, and it is not. Yeah. So if you think of those days, yeah, it tells you something that dancing is for everybody. And it's not just about learning or physical, it's somewhere related to your mind, de-stress. It's natural to do it to de-stress. Yeah, natural to dance to de-stress. So when you take this from, from our human experience, Sadhguru said something very nice. He said that we are so much now we're relying so much on datas and proving, and that we are just completely forgetting human experience and how intelligent and intuitive it can be. So if you now, yeah, so that's what, if you no data, but if you see through human experiences over the years, I feel the dance is for everybody, and every child in the school should dance as a source of joy and to distress. And you know how stressful it is for children nowadays, yeah? Studies, it's not easy for them. It's a lot of pressure. Like, pressure to an extent that even they're dancing, it has to be result oriented. Even if they're doing art, it has to be result oriented. Anything they do has to be result oriented. You went to a dance class, how many steps did you learn? Mom will come and ask you that. What are they learning? Which choreography? What step? How is it doing? So dance is also very result oriented, right? So when you take it to a larger audience like school, it can do wonders, and all the problem mental, the well-being, it can take care of the overall mental well-being, and really take away a lot of stress from the daily life. You know why? Because You put your hands up. Sometimes, like you put your hands up, you have a smile on your face. Have you experienced that? Yeah, it just
Yeah.
happens. It just happens. You don't have to think about it. Yeah. So it's not that you think about it. I'm going to feel happy.
It's a natural physiological reaction.
It's a switch. Put your hands up, you have a smile. So so you don't have to have an experience of getting something that you like and you feel happy, or the right situation to feel happy, or oh wow, this is something I love and I feel happy. Yeah, it's like it's a switch. Just not dependent. You just feel happy no matter what. Yeah, you don't need any right things to be happy. So can you imagine? It's so powerful. Just feeling happy without anything. Yeah, so powerful it can be, right? So what happens? So when you dance, you release dopamine, you release oxytocin, you release serotonin, you release endorphins, everything just by a switch without even, as you use the right word, depending on something.
That makes a lot of sense. Everything that you said, absolutely. I feel like happiness is a very physiological reaction at some point, and I feel like moving can really, activate those little parts of the brain that get that little bit of oxytocin and dopamine to do the things that we want to do. It allows you that freedom. But see, even something so wonderful sometimes can be overlooked by an education system, or something so wonderful can be overlooked by parents, teachers, because often co-curriculars are always if you have time. They are not, it's never the main thing. It's always grades, and then if you have time, we will try to develop co-curriculars. For example, when I was back in school, I used to do dance. I learned Bharatanatyam. I did art. I was doing music. I was learning some language. And then 10th and 11th happened. Board exams happened. And my parents asked me to choose. Now, why is there a choice? See, I'm sure creating something so wonderful like Rhythmus would not have come without its challenges, right? So, what were those challenges that you faced, maybe with yourself, maybe externally, as you created this?
So getting parents of Bollywood music, which are not right for kids, yeah, and still appeal to them. Again, not each class being very product oriented. It's a process oriented class. And eventually product comes. You just have to be patient. There's not that just it's never that because your process oriented product will not come. Yeah, but it comes at the right time. So making parents and school understand that. Again, as you say, we have pre-writing skill, we have pre-reading skills. Yeah, there are pre-movement skills, which is the basic foundation of movement, which can be used if you take sports or you take dance, whatever you do. It's a basic foundational movement skills. Yeah, which have to develop first before you go and say, I am going to learn this sports. I am going to learn this dance form. Yeah. So that understanding is not there. The pre-writing now, at least parents understand the pre-writing is scribbling. Pre-writing is paper folding. Yeah, they at least they understand that much. But in this area of physical development, the understanding is not there. So they directly go towards form and sports. So making them understand, they ask me which dance form do you teach. So when if I say freestyle, they'll discount me. They'll say, what freestyle? What is free? Like freestyle is taken as like derogatory. My child will learn freestyle.
But how do you make someone like that understand the importance of it? Because everyone's very used to taking dance on a surface level. How would you extend it further and really meet that person? Be like, listen, this is important. What do you say?
Yeah. So we've done a lot of in included parenting, including this awareness in our communication to parents slowly. Now there's always you find your tribe, when you start off. You always find your tribe who understand what you're trying to do. You have to be vocal about what you're doing and say it out loud that this is what we're doing, and you get your tribe. So that's how you I got my that little tribe who believed in the right way to go about. And from there, people join and we kept educating parents about we just don't take class and we keep doing what you want to do, and we don't we constantly talking to parents about in bits and pieces. Why is this like this? Why we have this song? What happens when the child does this? Educating parents when they come to you, educating. So again, finding the right time to educate, saying the right things, sending the right documents, those things, it's you have to build that awareness. Like for school, now how do we do it in school? So for school, annual day is very important. Yeah, everything is annual day focused. Yeah. So as I say, pre movement skills are not seen. It's just dancing and learn the dance, choreography, deliver. Now that's like choreography is an advanced level thing. Even if you make it simpler, still, still, if I say that a child who's going to, I always say this, a child is going to become an athlete, will never start running at grade 1 year. Never. Yeah, it requires that skills slow development, and then you go reach there, right? So that's what they will walk before they run. Yeah, so here you have to walk before you. Yeah, even though if the choreography is simple, they can't remember. The memory and sequencing is not there. They can't. It's so much burden for them. So much burden for them that right at that level, and so product oriented, that right at pre nursery level they start hating dance. Half children, or they get conscious about the body, about dancing, all they start realizing I'm not a good dancer. My that, that they start realizing all these things by the grade 2. They already have this notion, because the reason is because the skills are not developed, but you are allowed, but you are expected to um, deliver a result without giving enough time to skills. Yeah. So even when I went to schools, they were not interested in curriculum. They were interested in how do you do annual day, what are the events in between, what will parents see. So we had to do all that. We had to do all that. There was no option. So we did all that, and we also gave a curriculum. Yeah. So there was no other way but to give that. And slowly, once the curriculum was introduced, they realized, oh my God, this is such a powerful curriculum. What are the songs they're using? They're learning about water, they're learning about this. And then they started valuing the curriculum also, and then they realized. And then that's how it starts.
I think it's important to give everything time. I feel like in a world that is so goal oriented, we often forget why we're even doing what we're doing, because it's just such a blind, ambitious,
Which is not even going to reach your goal.
yes, for sure. It may or may not. And in that process, you may have not honed the true skills that you need to be a human being and not just a working human being. So I think that is an important distinction that we need to make, and that is important in today's life. Now, you have been a dancer, you have been a dance educationist, you have also dabbled in dance therapy. Now, these are three very different, I think, in its own way, very different levels of learning dance. What, may I ask, what appeals to you most? And what do you find home in most?
So for me, I'll tell you what. So for me, dancing is about having a holistic approach. So if you ask me to pick one, I will not pick one, because if I pick one, it is not holistic. If I put physical exercise, it's not holistic. If I put only social act, it's not holistic. So then for me, it is definitely, it goes completely against my belief to pick one. Yeah,
But if you had to, what appeals to you most?
it's a happiness quotient. It's a happiness quotient. Yeah, it's a happiness quotient when it comes to adults. Yeah, and it's an happiness plus a tool to enhance yourself when it comes to children and more, um, because they're still at a scale, at a very young age, where it can do wonders. The little thing can change them. By the time it reaches our age, it's very difficult to do that. But at that age, if it is wonderful, formative years. So for that age, in the early years, it's about the tool to learn, and oral development is the first, and then happiness, of course, because if you're not happy, you don't learn. For I think adults, it has to be de-stress. It's okay if you don't learn dance, but everybody should dance to de-stress.
Lovely. As long as it's giving some positive impact, it doesn't matter what exactly it is. What are you most excited about when you talk about seeing dance evolve in education systems? Could you prophesy something for us as to how you see the role of dance in our education system today and going forward for generations to come?
So dance overall has become very popular, and we got into a lot of school in last few years. That is showing that there is a clear picture and clear showing that they are thinking that dance is really important and they need a specialist to deliver it well. And it's not like a teacher ko bula liya or kar liya types. You know what I mean? So that is showing the change in mindset. Yeah, so we've added, all the JBCN to our list, Podar Prep, CP Goenka, the big names, who have come on board and have really thought about dance being very important. But again, all these schools, now I see that they let us deliver a curriculum very well and they don't just are event oriented, because they see the, yeah, they see the impact, they see children being happy, they see how engaged kids are, they see that they're learning so many things. So, and what happens is, when you slowly, it's been 12 years, and we're trying to get into schools, and the first few years of, we say first 8 years, or I would say 8 years, we just managed to get into few, because we had a very curriculum oriented approach. Yeah. And very curriculum. So now last 4 5 years, as we balanced both. Lot many school got us in, and through that they experienced our curriculum. So I'm excited, that um, things are opening up, and I see that you won't believe, there is this. We are delivering an online dance curriculum to school in Varanasi. Yeah. They think, yeah. So they now imagine a school in. It's so much effort for them to take something different, train teachers, ask teacher to deliver, their teacher to deliver. Yeah, so the school is Sunbeams, okay? To get bring me on board and deliver it online, that means that pre-primary see, dancing is very simple, right? So with little aid, with little videos, the teacher as a facilitator can what do you say, deliver the program. Now to come to me and to say, okay, I need your curriculum and my teacher will get trained and will take all the headache and you come for training. It says a lot about how important they see dance as. So things are opening up, and I'm very excited for next 5 years that I know it's this approach is going to be accepted really well. I already see the signs.
That's really hopeful to hear. And you said that people are now learning dance online. You're providing dance classes to students in Varanasi. I think there is a huge role of AI today in everything that we do, and that doesn't leave dance out. So in the past several years, both Facebook and Stanford University have launched artificially intelligent movement generation tools, almost like ChatGPT but for dance. Now, these tools encapsulate many of the questions that will determine whether artificial intelligence empowers or erases dance artists. Now, out of your personal opinion, how do you see the role of AI developing in dance for the years to come?
Like any other industry which is may or may not get affected by AI, and there are questions about how it's going to affect. It's the same here, but I would still like to see it as if you use it the right way, it can be a boon, because human touch can really never go, can never become a fad ever. Yeah, or can never be not needed, right? So I feel the roles will change, the kind, like like what I said, right now I'll go and train teachers, and it also calls for more people dancing, that now it is accessible to a larger audience, so you will see more people dancing, more people exploring. So of course, again, it can help dancers suggest new moves and styles and improve their training, you know which again, AI will not be able to anticipate, um, or deliver to that extent about the human, in improving a training. And then again, you feed that to AI. So it's a circle. It's a circle. the circle, it increases the reach, it makes it a commodity, and it has its advantage. So so the role changes, the work changes, but it can never be completely taken over.
Wonderful. Yes, absolutely. I think the most ideal form in the world would probably be when we are feeding AI as much as AI feeds us, and we help us both become better. And hopefully, that'll be a positive collaborative approach, and it will not be such that it completely, diminishes the importance of human connect and human intuition and everything that comes with
And
that.
this is a big threat, anyways, if that happens. So I'm sure we're going to have policies and policies and policies and ethics and morals written about AI and what extent it can be used soon.
Yes, absolutely. It is a little it's a little scary, I must say. Hopefully, like I said, we'll hope for the best. Hopefully, it will be a more collaborative approach. Now, Swara, it's been amazing talking to you. Before I let you go, I have one last question, which is that when we talk about SkilliZee and similar institutions that work like yours, that work on these meta skills that are not essentially given that much importance in not all but most schools, how do you see these small initiatives, collaborating to help bring the importance of meta skills into education systems? Do you see there's a common ground where these different initiatives can come together?
So absolutely, as if we come together and we can deliver it together, and it's about, as I said, bringing awareness. The more people join in, because eventually, it's about, it starts with awareness, and then the inclusion starts. So people like us who believe in this philosophy of learning come together. We can really amplify the awareness and reach a much larger audience, and that will eventually lead to bigger collaboration and understanding and acceptance of this in mainstream education.
Yes, absolutely. Swara, thank you so much. With that, I bring this conversation to a close. It's been such a pleasure having you on. I would just like to say a last few lines before closing this discussion is that dance is the most fundamental of the arts, involving direct expression through the body. Thus, it is an intimate and powerful medium of education. People generally remember 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% of what they hear and see, 70% of what they say and write, but 90% of what they do. So, retention is best done when the learner is involved because what we hear, we can forget, but what we see, we remember, and what we do, we understand. So, Swara, this is lovely. Thank you for agreeing to be part of this discussion. It's been a very eye-opening conversation. So, thank you for joining us today. Please log on to skillizee.com for more information, and we'll be back with more upcoming episodes. So, thank you so much, and bye, guys.